Check out this awesome little micro buzzbait right here. I actually had this rigged up the other day, and I was out on my paddleboard. I got rained off the water, but before I did, I caught a couple bass on it, and it was super fun. Check the tape. Oh snap, he smoked that the second it hit the water. Daggum. Pretty good one, I think. This is obviously a lighter rod. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think that's a respectable fish. What do we got here? What do we have here? He hammered that thing the second it hit the water. The old buzzbait, I had made a lot of casts, so I was starting to lose hope a little bit, and this one just throttled it. I got around some more grass. I have a feeling that's what I was lacking on the last stretch of bank. Now we're around some grass, and it looks pretty promising. All right. That's a very respectable fish for this BFS rod. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Very nice. Little buzzbait. Oh, he threw it right out. But I tell you what, nice little bass right there on the light BFS stick. See ya, buddy. Just gotta look for them shallow weeds. Who'da thunk? Bass like shallow grass? Never would have guessed. Oh, there you go. They like the shallow grass. Never would have guessed, huh? Oh man, he just jumped on the paddleboard. He tried to hit me. All right, chill out, buddy. Chill out, chill out. Okay, okay, okay. Feisty little bugger. Use your net, goober. Golly, they're feisty little buggers, huh? They do not give up. So here we are about a week and a half later. I'm on the water again on my paddleboard. I've got the BFS set up. I've got the Ultralight set up. I'm gonna start with the buzzbait because I really would love to catch more fish on it. But if this doesn't work, you know the drill. We're after whatever bites. I've got other stuff I can rig up. Let's get started. A little tiny bait fish skipping around out here like something was chasing it. So I'm just gonna dead drift this donkey-tailed junior over here just to see. What is this that I just hooked? This is a fish. I don't think he even knows he's hooked. What is going on right here? I thought it was a snag at first. He's moving. Either that's a fish behind some grass or it's a fish that's like about ready to start fighting. I think it might be behind something. What is this? My sunglasses are fogging up a little bit. Is this a bullhead? What in tarnation? I think this might be my first bullhead in Michigan, which is kind of crazy because I feel like there's a good amount of bullhead. But there you go. I threw the donkey-tailed junior out there because I saw some bait fish skipping around, and that's a pretty nice bullhead right there. Daggum. All right, wasn't expecting him. Of course. All right, buddy, let's figure this out without getting spined. Look at that. That's kind of a nice little bonus. Wasn't expecting any bullhead today. Let's see if we can get that jig out of there for you, buddy. All right, there you go. Look at that chunky little bullhead. Heck yeah, I'm actually pretty stoked about that. That's my first ever Michigan bullhead, which is crazy, but it finally happened. There you go. Actually a pretty nice one. See ya, buddy. All right, well, we're starting to get rained on. Didn't know this was in the forecast. I guess I should have guessed. Oh well. I struggle to believe that there's no feeding bass up shallow right now. I just struggle to believe it. I'm about ready to get poured on. I didn't know I was gonna get rained on. I think I'm actually happy because if I would have known it was gonna rain, I might have made an excuse to not come out here. Now I just have to accept my fate and hopefully catch some fish along the way. At least I got a fish. Let's go. Got a big old bluegill under that dock. All right, well, might get poured on today, but at least we caught a fish along the way. Apologize for the audio. It's gonna get a little messed up here. See ya, buddy. This works. I hope these people don't mind that I'm just hiding underneath their covered dock. They probably don't see me. Either way, they would probably be a little bit annoyed because they've got this big fancy boat and this big fancy dock, but I tell you what, I don't want to be out there. It's absolutely pouring right now. I want to take shelter, and that's what I'm doing. I think this will pass hopefully soon. Yet another lesson learned from today. Look at the weather forecast before you get on the water. I sometimes am just very dumb, and today it's one of those days. There we go. At least there's bluegill under the dock with me. There we go. That one just made my line jump. My line just went slack, so I set the hook, and sure enough. All right, 2 bluegill under this dock. There's a fish out there off the dock. What's it gonna be? What's this gonna be? Nice bluegill, yes sir. All right. You know what? Getting caught in a rainstorm isn't half bad when you got fish like this. Forced me to slow down, and there you go. It's my 3rd quality bluegill. Whoa, and there he goes. It's sprinkling still, but that rain seems to have basically cleared up, so we are going to get back out here and keep trudging along. Well, you definitely can't say I didn't try. I have thrown this thing a lot, and unfortunately, it just doesn't seem like they're willing to feed on the surface today. So we're gonna try something different. I've got a burrow bug on the back of a Kitech mono spin jig, so it's just a real finesse jig presentation. I gotta imagine that there is a bass willing to eat this. Oh, that was stupid. Well, I went to go pitch my jig, and I accidentally smacked it on the water behind me because I'm dumb, and now I've got a serious backlash problem. Okay, I guess we're ultralight fishing for the rest of the day. Ah! Dinky little yellow perch. There was a bunch of other little fish with him. There you go. Well, it's something. There was some other ones down there with him, but they were all fighting for it, and I think I got the smallest one, of course. And another little dinky yellow perch. I saw some bluegill up shallow, but the paddleboard kept drifting, so I wasn't able to get on top of them proper. I did see a couple big bass as well, but they were cruising, and I don't think they were very interested in my 1-inch minnow right now. So another yellow perch. Wow. And that one's actually respectable there. The first 2 are dinky. This one's not big by any means, but at least halfway respectable. Interesting. Okay, well, apparently there's yellow perch willing to eat today. Good news and bad news. The good news is I actually just fixed my reel. It wasn't as bad as I once thought. Bad news is we are running low on time, so it's not like I'm gonna have tons of time to put it to use, but hey, we've got it. It's back in commission. There's one. I just came out here to this offshore weed bed, and I figure, you know what, we'll try offshore a little bit. And there's a nice respectable bluegill. Got a lot of orange on the belly. It's a pretty fish. There we go, that's more like it. A little more respectable there. It's definitely been a little on the slow side today, but I'd like to end with a couple of decent bluegill if I possibly could. I just don't know what it is about this reel that makes it feel so clunky. It just feels clunky. Hey, it's a crappie. All right. I do think that if I was to grease the reel a little bit, it would definitely help. Oh gosh, you goober. Oh gosh, chill. Ow, ow, ow. He just poked me. He just broke my line, so now I have to retie my jig because I held a 2-pound test up like a goober, and he shook and he snapped it. But I tell you what, we caught a crappie. Okay, now I have to retie my jig. Yeah, he poked me, and I'm actually bleeding a little bit. The amount of times I've been dorsal finned in the last couple of years, it's gotta be 1,000. I wanted to try this just because it's a budget-friendly reel, but I definitely like the Revros better, and it's the exact same price. The Revros LT 1000, slightly larger reel, not much, but definitely just feels smoother. This one, I feel like you need to grease it out of the box, so I still need to do that. I also have it underspooled, which is not ideal. I'm sure it's a fine reel. I just feel like there's better alternatives for the same price. I would be totally fine with more crappie, but I would love, love, love a big fat bluegill. And what's this? He's coming right to me. What are you? You're bigger than I thought you were at first because you're swimming towards me. Now you're turning sideways, and you know what? Pretty respectable bluegill. If we learned anything from that last fish, it's that you probably should not grab your line. You should try to grab the fish. And if you can't grab the fish, you should probably grab your net, but I'm stubborn, so I'm always gonna go for the fish. And there you go, my friends. Very pretty bluegill. Good times. Somewhat slow day of fishing, but I'll take what I can get. Look at that. There's a fish swimming. Can you see that? Look at that. He's like tailing. That is so weird. These bluegill, I think they're feeding on some kind of insect hatch. Good to know, my friends, good to know. At this point, I'm about ready to go home, so it doesn't really matter, but it's interesting. There we go. Yeah, you just gotta, I have noticed that most of the fish eat it early when it hits the water. And I think that must be why. You know, I went down to the 1/64th ounce jig because I thought the 1/32nd was maybe getting down there a little too quick. I honestly think the 1/80th would be even better. And quite honestly, if I could get something that kind of just hovers about 3 inches under the water, that would be even better. Because these fish, I think they're feeding like right on the surface. Look, there they go again, right over there. Isn't that cool? There's one. Ooh, baby. This might be a good one. Can't tell. Oh, it's a nice crappie. Well, a somewhat nice crappie. Let's use our net this time. He's not that big. But I don't want to break my 2-pound line, so respectable enough. He's similar to the last one. Okay, chill out. No dorsal fins, please. I haven't caught very many crappie this year, so I'm happy to catch this one. See you, buddy. Unfortunately, I ran out of time, which means I'm going home. And sadly, I didn't catch a single fish on my BFS rod today, which is bonkers. But I'm glad that I brought 2 rods. Even though I typically don't like to bring 2 rods in the paddleboard, I sure as heck am glad I had the Ultralight with me because that's the only reason I caught fish today. Truly appreciate you watching. I know the fishing wasn't exactly great, but that's how it goes sometimes. It was still nice to be on the water, even though I got rained on. It was cool to catch my first Michigan bullhead, which is interesting. I can't believe it's taken me this long, but we made it happen, and it was actually a respectable bullhead. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll catch you next time.
Truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from him. Truly he is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken.